That's why tomorrow I'm going to send to Congress an urgent budget request to fund America's national security needs, to support our critical partners, including Israel and Ukraine. It's a smart investment that's going to pay dividends for American security for generations.
A smart investment that's going to pay dividends on our security for generations. It sounds like I'm being sold a timeshare in Florida, which actually is really, really not a wise investment, as we'll talk about later. It also sounds like I'm being sold another war. So that was Joe Biden addressing the nation from the Oval Office on Thursday evening. He had a 15-minute long speech that focused on US's support of Israel's war on Gaza, as well as the US's support for Ukraine's resistance to Russia's war on that country. Specifically, he's asking for $74 billion more dollars for both of these countries, again, that we have funded, long funded for many years. $61 billion for Ukraine, $14.3 billion for Israel. We're gonna get into what he said, and we're gonna get into the reactions from his own State Department, from staffers on the Hill, and also from the American people. How are they feeling about this new war on Gaza, on the Palestinian people, in response to, of course, the Hamas attacks that claimed so many lives? So we'll talk about that, but let's first stick with this speech. There were a lot of parallels. Biden here is trying to sell us, right? He's trying to sell the American people. Ukraine is Israel. Israel is Ukraine. Here's how he started out.
You know, the assault on Israel echoes nearly 20 months of war, tragedy, and brutality inflicted on the people of Ukraine. People that were very badly hurt since Putin launched his all-out invasion.
Now, I'm sure everyone has different thoughts about this tactic. I, for one, think it is a pretty bad parallel to draw. And I say that because in the Ukraine-Russia instance, Russia is the aggressor, of course, and Ukraine is fighting for its sovereign territory as Russia tries to annex places like Crimea, annex eastern Ukraine, annex the entire country. And when you look at Israel-Palestine, and you talk about annexation, you don't have to come on either side of this issue to know that it's Israel that has been slowly annexing places like the West Bank, trying to now annex northern Gaza. Annexation and settlements are kind of what Israel does. They claim for their own security. You can argue, yes, that is true, or no, that is not true, but that is what's happening. And it's very strange to me that here we are funding opposite sides of these two different wars. In my opinion, one side the aggressor in Israel, and on the other side, one's the Ukrainian people who are fighting for their sovereignty. And somehow we're not supposed to see that dissonance. Instead, we're supposed to see them as the exact same struggle. Brett, I am curious about your thoughts. I guess I feel like I can only come back to the color of these folks' skin, their religion. I know that's a really reductive way to see it, but it's hard not to see it like that when it seems like there is such dissonance here.
No. It is wrong. The only similarity, really, there's two similarities between backing Israel and backing Ukraine. It's that they both serve American interests. That's where you need to stop the parallels, because otherwise you're just being reductive. And when you say the difference is the color of the people's skin, I mean, there's a lot of people that the US has allied itself with over the course of this, especially if you look at like who's benefiting and who's working with whom in that region. You've got Iran and Palestine and Iran-backed groups, and you've got like Saudi Arabia and Israel and the UAE and the US and Egypt. Now, that's like a multi-ethnic different coalitions on those different sides. You've got Arabs versus Arabs. You got traditionally Persian people aligning with Arabs. You got people in Saudi Arabia disavowing Palestinians as Arabs. Like it's very, the further down you go, the more dangerous it is. So this is the thing with a lot of these discussions, they end up going down, and they end up going into these places where you feel like you absolutely need to win some rhetorical framing. And I mentioned this last week, when really just stop at, they both further American interests. American geopolitical interest is in having Israel as an ally. When you say like, who's the aggressor in Russia versus Ukraine, Russia is the aggressor. When you look at the aggressor in Israel versus Hamas and / Palestine, depending on how you want to frame it yourself for whatever ends, like it's this particular war started with aggression from Hamas and killing a bunch of Israelis, and this is considered, that was the instigating factor in this war. So technically you have some element of invasion and aggression from Hamas. But as I said last week too, like most people just pick the starting point that best serves their interests based on what side they are, and they go from there. And I'd say all of that is wrong. When I do it, when you do it, when anyone does it. Remembering like the only parallel I can draw is that they're both in the American geopolitical interest as framed by like America as hegemon since World War II.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.